The cold stone floor of the old church bit into my skin. I awoke not to the gentle rays of morning, but to the spectral glow of a full moon, its light bleeding through the fractured stained glass, painting the dust motes in haunting hues of blue and blood red. The air was heavy, thick with the scent of damp earth and something ancient, something sorrowful. My head throbbed, a dull, persistent drumbeat against my skull. Where was I? The pews, like skeletal remains, lined the aisle leading to a crumbling altar, and then I remembered. The chase, the fear, the cornered beast. I remembered its eyes, not filled with feral rage, but with a profound, pleading sadness. A sadness I knew all too well. A voice, not from the shadows, but from within my own memory, echoed in the hollow space of the church. It was Daniel's voice, as clear as if he were standing beside me. "I didn't choose this, brother." The words were a phantom touch, a ghost of a shared childhood. I looked towards the altar, and there it was, the silhouette of the wolf, not crouched to attack, but kneeling. Its massive form, which had struck terror into the heart of Silver Hollow, was slumped in a posture of defeat, of supplication. The moonlight caught the glint of something in its fur, something human. It was then that the truth, a truth I had been running from my entire life, finally caught me. The beast wasn't just a monster, it was my brother. My hands, slick with sweat, wrapped around the cold stock of the silver rifle. It felt impossibly heavy, a burden of generations. The rifle that my grandfather had used, and his father before him. A tool of death, passed down to end a curse we never truly understood. I raised it, the silver barrel glinting in the moonlight, its sights trained on the kneeling figure. My arms trembled, a violent shudder that shook my entire body. A single tear escaped, then another, tracing hot paths down my cold cheeks. They weren't just tears of sorrow, but of rage. Rage at our ancestors, at the sin that had bound our bloodline to this cruel fate. The wind, whistling through the broken windows, sounded like prayers, like whispers of absolution that would never come. My finger brushed against the trigger. One shot, one silver bullet to end it all, to end him. I squeezed my eyes shut, and the world fractured into a kaleidoscope of memories. Daniel, his face beaming as he pulled me up a tree. Daniel, defending me from bullies in the schoolyard. Daniel, his eyes dark with a secret fear the night he disappeared. The wolf. Its form flickered, a glitch in reality. For a heartbeat I saw my brother, his human form curled on the floor, his face etched with agony. Then the wolf returned, its fur matted, its breath coming in ragged pants. The transformation was violent, a war being fought within his very being. Human, then wolf, then human again. The flashes growing faster, more desperate, as if his soul was trying to tear itself free from the monstrous shell. The curse was breaking, not with a roar, but with a tortured, silent scream. He was fighting it. For me. My finger hovered over the trigger. The stories, the legends, they all said the same thing. Only silver could end the curse. Only death could bring peace. But looking at the alternating forms of my brother, the man and the monster, I saw not a curse to be ended, but a soul to be saved. This was my brother, lost and in pain, and they wanted me to be his executioner? No, not like this. My aim shifted, my grief, my rage, it all focused on a new target. Not on him, but on the symbol of our family's sin. With a primal scream that ripped from my throat, I fired. I didn't aim for my brother, I aimed for the heavens. I fired at the moon. The silver bullet, meant to pierce a heart, instead struck the ancient altar stone. It shattered with a sound like a thunderclap, sending fragments of consecrated rock flying through the air. The shot echoed, a defiant cry against fate. The echo faded, and an unnatural silence descended upon the forest. The wind died. The moonlight softened, its silver edge giving way to a gentle, pearlescent glow. The curse, deprived of its anchor, of its ritualistic conclusion, simply dissolved. It unraveled like a threadbare tapestry, fading into the coming dawn. Where the monstrous wolf had been, there now lay a man. Daniel. He was pale, thin, but undeniably human. His eyes fluttered open and they found mine. A faint smile touched his lips, a look of profound relief, of gratitude. The long night was over. Dawn was breaking. its golden fingers reaching through the trees, chasing away the last of the shadows. He was free. We didn't have much time. He was weak, his body ravaged by the long years of transformation. I carried him from the ruins of the church, his weight a feather compared to the burden I had carried in my heart. We made it to the old oak tree on the hill, the one where we'd carved our initials as boys. He passed as the sun crested the horizon, not in pain, but in peace. I buried him there, beneath the strong, sheltering branches. The silver rifle, our family's shame, I buried with him. As I placed the last handful of earth on the mound, I whispered into the morning air, "The wolf sleeps now." The sun rose higher, its warm light washing over the valley, a promise of a new day. A haunting piano melody began to play on the wind, joined by the distant, fading howl of a lone wolf. A lament and a farewell. Some curses, I've come to learn, are not broken by a silver bullet or an act of violence. They are chains of sorrow passed down through generations, each link forged in pain and misunderstanding. They feed on fear and thrive in the darkness of secrets, but they cannot withstand the light. They cannot survive an act of defiance, an act of love. Some curses end not with death, but with forgiveness. They end when someone is brave enough to lower the gun, to choose family over fate, and to finally let the wolf and the man rest in peace. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through Silver Hollow. If this story touched you, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more cinematic tales. Your support means the world. Stay safe and always choose hope.